Well, when I was elected and I was told I was there, I knew I had become a Khalifa. That was that, and I felt awful. The person who is elected doesn't propose his name. Most often than not, he tries to keep away from such responsibilities, to shun the responsibilities. But when imposed, then he goes forward like a brave man and carries them. What is happening in Pakistan is a dictatorship, and they know it. Everybody knows it. How can I work in Pakistan under this ordinance as Khalifa? So I can't live there for a single moment without relinquishing my office. I kept on telling Ahmadis to go closer to Allah. There our safety lay, and nowhere else.
कभी आके देखो तो सही बज़ में जहां में कल तक. Those who stood for Pakistan, who sacrificed all they had for the sake of Pakistan, who suffered for Pakistan, they are left aside as enemies of Pakistan.
I came here in 1984 November, and I went to Pakistan back on 1990 once, and then I didn't go. It was 2003 when I requested Huzoor that I would like to visit once Pakistan with my family. So he was really shocked. He said, "You haven't been to Pakistan for last 13 years?" I said, "No, sir." So he said, "No, you must go." Then we had a mulaqat before leaving. Then he gave my wife 400 pounds. Okay, look, this is your expenditure in Pakistan. So I went to Karachi after 3 days. I was coming when I got a message from Nasser Said, my second in command here, that Huzoor has died. So it was a big shock.
April 2003. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community is facing a crisis following the demise of its Khalifa, Hazrat Mirza Ahmad Rahmullah. His closest aides are in shock, not least Head of Security Major Mahmood Ahmed, who is doubly devastated to have been so far during his master's final hours. Stranded in Karachi, Major Sahib phones Pakistan's most senior administrator, the Nazir-e-Ala Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad, for guidance.
This is what I want to say, that unfortunately I was not there at that time. So I rang up Mirza Masroor Ahmad at that time, and after condolence I asked him, what are instructions for me? So he said, go back immediately and take over. He was much calmer than me. I was weeping, but he was okay. He was telling me, okay, it's all right, part of life. He gave me encouragement and he said, you immediately go back.
Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad is a nephew of the late Khalifa. He has been a life devotee of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community for over 2 decades, including 8 years in Ghana, Africa.
घर में कोई बात हो रही थी हुजूर के बहन भाइयों की, और लोग कोई कुछ कह रहा था, कोई कुछ कह रहा था, तो अब्बा हजरत साहब उन दोनों अफ्रीका में होते थे। तो अब्बा कहते, लेकिन मुझे तो अपना वो बेटा प्यार है ज़्यादा जो अफ्रीका में अल्लाह के नाम पे गया हुए।
In recent years, Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad has served with distinction as the Nazir-e-Ala of Pakistan, becoming a great favourite of his Khalifa.
Of all of Hazrat Khalifa Masih Rabi's nephews who were working in Pakistan, who were Waqf-e-Zindagi, Huzoor would always refer to them by their first name, but he would always call him Mia Masroor, and he would speak with a lot of affection.
अब जबकि मैंने इनकी जगह नाज़िर-ए-आला और अमीर मकामी इनके साहिबजादे मिर्ज़ा मसरूर अहमद साहब को बनाया है, तो मेरा इस इल्हाम की तरफ भी ध्यान फिरा कि गोया आप अब ये कह रहे हैं तू मेरी जगह बैठ। ये ज़िक्र खैर है ही बहुत प्यारा, और मैं सारी जमात को हज़रत मिर्ज़ा मसरूर अहमद साहब के लिए दुआ की तरफ तवज्जो दिलाता हूँ। और बाद में मिर्ज़ा मसरूर अहमद साहब के मुतालिक भी कि अल्लाह ताला इनको भी सही जानशीन बनाए, तू अब हमारी जगह बैठ जाए का मजमून पूरी तरह इन पर सादिक़ आए, और अल्लाह ताला हमेशा ख़ुद उनकी हिफाजत फरमाए और उनकी इयानत फरमाए।
एक दफ़ा बल्कि कोई बात हुई थी तो अब्बा ने कहा था, इनका मुझे पता है कि ये मेरे हुक्म के खिलाफ वर्जी नहीं कर सके, जो मैं ये कहता हूँ ये वही करते हैं। तो हुजूर का गैर मामूली अताअत का जो अंदाज़ था वो मुझे बल्कि हैरत भी होती थी कि बगैर किसी सवाल और उसके जो भी कहा गया हुजूर का ये था कि इसी तरह करना है।
हुजूर अनवर अय्यदुल्लाह ताला के खुतबात हमारी दीनी तरबियत के लिए हर हफ्ते हमें सुनने का मौका मिलता है। अल्लाह ताला का ये बड़ा एहसान है कि जमात को एक हाथ पर इकट्ठा किया हुआ है।
Huzoor would really trust in Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad Sahib's judgment. On a number of occasions, I heard him say something like, because Mia Masroor has said this, then this is how we're going to do it. And then in 2001, I visited Pakistan for a few weeks. And before I was leaving, Hazrat Khalifa Masih Rabi told me to stay close to Mia Masroor, and he said that anything you need, if you have any issues there, turn to Mia Masroor.
However, the Nazir-e-Ala's prominent position has made him the innocent target of state-sponsored persecution.
एक बार गलत झूठा मुकदमा कायम हुआ था, उसकी वजह से हुजूर और 2 या 3 और अफराद थे, वो उनको पुलिस ने पकड़ लिया था और जेल ले गए थे। केस तो था, काफ़ी देर वो जारी रहा, जेल में रहे। उस दौरान में बड़ी परेशानी भी थी, कोई समझ नहीं आ रहा था कि किस तरह ये रिज़ॉल्व होगा, और कोई ऐसी उम्मीद नहीं थी कि हुकूमत जो है वो मानेगी रिलीज़ करना और बेल हो सकेगी, ज़मानत हो सकेगी। तो उसके बावजूद भी मैं एक बार गया भी जेल मिलने के लिए हुजूर से, तो और बहुत सारे लोगों ने भी गए मिलने के लिए जेल। तो यही देखा कि हुजूर बड़ी तसल्ली से आराम से होते थे जेल में, और जब कोई मिलने आता था तो बजाय इसके दूसरे लोग हुजूर को तसल्ली दें, हुजूर उनको तसल्ली दे रहे होते थे। मूड लाइट करने के लिए मजाक किया करते थे हुजूर, ताकि अगर कोई बहुत संजीदा नज़र आ रहा हो ना, तो हुजूर की अक्सर कोई ऐसा मजाक लाइट करने के लिए कर दिया करते थे.
Now, Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad faces a crisis far greater than his time in jail. The Khalifa has passed away, but not without leaving detailed instructions for his followers.
In 1999, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih the fourth Rahimahullah Ta'ala fell ill. And it was decided by Sadr Anjuman Ahmadiyya and Tehreek-e-Jadid Anjuman Ahmadiyya that two of their representatives should go to London and inquire about Huzoor's health. So Hazrat Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad and myself were nominated for this purpose. We met to London, met Huzoor, inquired about his health. After 2 or 3 days, Huzoor called us into his office and directed us to bring a copy of the rules and regulations concerning the election of Khalifatul Masih. And he asked us to make some amendments in the rules. One amendment was that the election will take place in Masjid Fazl, London. Secondly, he said the Sadr Anjuman Ahmadiyya Pakistan at Rabwa will control the election affairs and the related arrangements. And the Jamaat people in London, they will take every step with the permission of Sadr Anjuman Ahmadiyya Rabwa.
As the most senior office bearer of the Sadr Anjuman, a heavy burden now falls on Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad, who must take responsibility for the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in the critical days ahead.
उसके बाद ये जो पिछली इंतखाब खिलाफत की कार्रवाई थी वो भी निकालनी थी, जो कि एक और घर में, किसी घर में सेफ में पड़ी हुई थी. वो मियाँ खुर्शीद के ज़िम्मे लगाया गया कि वो निकाल के लाएं. वो उनके साथ मैं गया उस घर में, वहाँ से सेफ से वो कार्रवाई निकाली. उसके बाद वो उन्होंने मुझे दी कि ये हज़रत साहब की खिदमत में, मतलब नासा वाला को दे के आओ. तो वो मैं लेके, पहले हम लोग अंजुमन के दफ्तर गए, लेकिन वहाँ से वो आ चुके थे. तो जब मैं घर गया हज़रत मिर्ज़ा मसरूर अहमद साहब के, तो हुज़ूर अंदर नमाज़ पढ़ रहे थे कमरे में, अपने सजदे में थे, हिचकियों के साथ रो रहे थे, शिद्दत के साथ, इंतहाई गिरियाज़ारी के साथ रो रहे थे. मैंने पहले कभी हज़रत साहब को उस हालत में नहीं देखा था. नमाज़ पढ़ते मैंने मस्जिद में ही पढ़ते थे, ज़ाहिर है वो तन्हाई की नमाज़ तो इस तरह नहीं मैं कह सकता कि वो थी, लेकिन मस्जिद में उस वक्त जो हालत थी हज़रत साहब की, वो इंतहाई गम की और गिरियाज़ारी और दुआएं बेतहाशा बहुत. और मैं वहाँ बैठा रहा, हज़रत साहब का इंतज़ार करता रहा कि, क्योंकि वो मैं चीज़ लेके भी साथ नहीं जा सकता था, वो कागज़ात वो हुज़ूर को मैंने देने थे तो तभी जाना था. तो काफ़ी देर मुझे इंतज़ार करना पड़ा. हज़रत साहब नमाज में मसरूफ़ रहे. उसके बाद फिर जब नमाज ख़त्म हुई तो फिर हुज़ूर तशरीफ़ लाए, तो उनकी खिदमत में मैंने पेश की.
While senior office bearers and direct family are already aware of the situation, Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad must now inform the wider community.
I think it was about midday that we got a message again from Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad to say that Private Secretary should make an announcement on MTA of Huzoor's demise.
Munir Javed Sahib called and he said, I'm coming to record a message. Without saying what it is, he came to the studio. As he started speaking in Arabic, the early words of that message were in Arabic. I knew immediately before he even spoke in Urdu, and the rest of my colleagues were there. I just couldn't hold myself from bursting into
كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. इंतहाई रंज और गम और दुख के साथ तमाम जमात हाय अहमदिया आलमगीर को इत्तला दी जाती है कि आज मुअर्रखा 19 अप्रैल 2003 सुबह 9:30 बजे सैयदना व मौलाना हज़रत मिर्ज़ा ताहिर अहमद खलीफतुल मसीह राबे बक़दाए इलाही हरकत कलब बंद हो जाने से वफ़ात पा गए हैं। इन्ना लिल्लाहि व इन्ना इलैहि राजिऊन। खुदा ताला ने कभी जमात अहमदिया को बेयारो मददगार नहीं छोड़ा। अब भी वही खुदा हमारा हामी और मददगार और मुहाफ़िज़ होगा इंशाअल्लाहुल अज़ीज़। मिर्ज़ा मसरूर अहमद, नाज़िर आला, सदर अंजुमन अहमदिया पाकिस्तान, रबवा।
There was a corner next to the Mahmood Hall where now the sort of MTA transmission department is. And all the Ahmadis that were there on that day were just huddled there. They weren't moving, they weren't talking. There was a great sort of a sense of anxiety and a great sense of confusion amongst all of them. And I just remember this sort of, the stillness, how still everything was.
खबर पहुंच गई थी सारे रब्वा में, लोगों को पता चलना शुरू हो गया था और लोग आ रहे थे। तो हुजूर उस वक़्त बड़ी तसल्ली से लोगों से मिल रहे थे, उनको तसल्ली दे रहे थे और बावजूद इसके कि हुजूर ने चंद घंटों में निकल जाना था और बहुत तैयारी वगैरह और उसकी प्लानिंग भी करनी थी, लेकिन हुजूर बड़े इत्मीनान से लोगों से मिले।
As the day unfolds, senior representatives of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community are summoned from around the world to the London Mosque for an electoral college that will select the new Khalifa. However, it is the start of a bank holiday weekend and the UK's official bodies will not issue any visas to enter the country for 3 days.
Imam Saab called me and he asked me your name in the member of the committee of the Khilafat and please come to London as soon as possible. This is like someone put a mountain on my shoulder and really I was afraid.
I realized that we will have problems. We had to get the Electoral College down here quickly, and it is possible that some people's visas may not be processed or what have you. So I rang Tony Coleman, who was the local member of parliament here. So he came into my office, sat next door, and from here he started making telephone calls to the Home Office.
The late Khalifa was as a father to me. Can I say that my granddaughter suffered from childhood leukemia and came very close to death? One of the things that helped her recover, her name is Evie, was actually the medicines which the late Khalifa mixed for her.
The impact of what Tony Coleman did only came later because when people started arriving here, a delegation that came from Japan said that when they found out about this incident, they went to the embassy to get visas, and the embassy said, "You must be joking. It's bank holiday, we are closed, you can't, earliest you can do is Tuesday when we'll reopen." And they said they were very disappointed. They went back and they said that literally in a few hours later they got a call from the embassy saying, "We've had instructions from London that visas should be issued to you immediately." And throughout the world, messages went out from the Foreign Office that Ahmadis who wanted to come should be issued visas. For instance, in Germany, where we had large communities, I was told that there, the embassy stayed open all night. And in fact, they even got some of our Ahmadis to help them to issue visas to people who wanted to come.
Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad must now depart Rabwa for London. He hopes to return in a week with the permission of whosoever is elected Khalifa. As he leaves, he visits some elder relatives in Rabwa, including Hazrat Mirza Tahir Ahmad Rahmullah's sister, Sahibzadi Amtul Basit.
He was there only for a minute or two, if I remember correctly. So he came and said, I'm leaving, and, please pray. And then I think he left, and she walked him to the door. But he was also, I think, not in a hurry or rush, but, he was very to the point, but also very calm.
A convoy of 14 senior office bearers now departs Rabwa for a long journey, the first leg of which is by car to Lahore.
रास्ते में मैंने असदुल्ला साहब को कहा कि हम इस टाइम तक पहुंचेंगे जब, तो उससे पहले कोई गाड़ी आपकी आगे जाके पहले चाय वगैरह बनवा ले, और जैसे ही ये लोग पहुंचते हैं, काफ़िला पहुंचता है, तो इनको चाय वगैरह पेश कर दें, और जिसने गुस्ल खाने जाना है वो वहाँ से फारिग हो जाए। खैर लोग, काफ़िला रुका, वहाँ पे चंद लोग उतरे गुस्ल खाने जाने के लिए, तो इतनी देर में वो चाय लेके आ गए एक साहब। तो मैंने चाय कहा बुज़ुर्गों को पेश करें, तो वो जब पेश की तो सबसे पहले या दूसरे नंबर पे मियाँ खुर्शीद थे, मियाँ अहमद थे और हज़रत साहब थे जो कि गाड़ी सामने खड़ी थी, इसी तरह बाकी सारे बुज़ुर्ग थे। तो जब उन्होंने पेश की तो एक सीनियर बुज़ुर्ग ने मुझे बड़ी शिद्दत के साथ डांटा कि ये कोई वक्त है चाय का, और इसका हुज़ूर की वफ़ात हुई है, लोग सफ़र पे जा रहे हैं और तुम यहाँ चाय का इंतज़ाम कर रहे हो। तो मेरा ये था कि ज़ाहिर बुज़ुर्ग लोग हैं, शुगर का मसला है, कमज़ोरी हो जाती है, कोई भी चीज़ हो जाती है, तो वो तो ज़रूरत तो साथ लगी हुई है। लेकिन एनीवे मैं डर गया उस वक्त डांट खा के। तो अब मैंने मुतवक्को नज़रों से हज़रत साहब की तरफ देखना शुरू कर दिया, क्योंकि नाज़िर साहब वाला तो वो थे और अमीर भी वही थे। तो मैंने कहा अब ये पहली डांट इनसे पड़ी है तो दूसरी अब हज़रत साहब से पड़ेगी। तो हज़रत साहब ने मुझे देखा और कुछ कहा नहीं, उन्होंने खामोशी से चाय का कप उठाया और पीना शुरू कर दिया। मतलब वहाँ से उन्होंने अमली तौर पे मुझे ये बता दिया कि कोई बात नहीं, और ज़ाहिर है ज़रूरत है तो पेश कर दो। तो बाद में फिर 2-3 बुज़ुर्गों ने मुझे कहा कि शुक्र है तुमने दे दी, हमने तो दवाई खानी थी, हम तो दवाई खाने से बैठे हुए थे। तो ज़ाहिर है वो मौके की मुनासबत से वो फिर इससे झीम भी रहे थे इस बात से कि हम कुछ खाने को मांगें, लेकिन वो हज़रत साहब ने संभाल लिया उस सूरत हाल को।
When Hazrat Khalifa Masih Rahmatullah Ta'ala passed away, it was an immense feeling of being a sheep or a herd of sheep without a shepherd. The first news of any support or strength which I remember receiving, that there was a waft coming from Rabwa, comprising of Marhum Mirza Khurshid Ahmad Saab and Marhum Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Saab and Mirza Masroor Ahmad Saab.
A lot of the members of the Electoral College from Pakistan arrived in England because it contained lots of directors of Tehreek-e-Jadid and Sadr Anjuman Ahmadiyya. It was felt necessary that someone from Hazrat Khalifa Masih Rabi's family go to the airport and receive them, along with, from what I remember, Amir Sahib UK, Rafiq Ahmed Hayat Sahib was there and several other people, and I was the person who went to the airport. And one of the things that struck me is that out of all the people that got off the plane that day and of all the people we received, he was the most calm out of all of them and the most tranquil and the most at ease with the situation. He met me with a great deal of love.
As soon as they landed, we were, all of us were there or thereabouts in Masjid Fazal. And when I heard, I hurried towards the guest house 65. I can still remember that feeling of a joy, a sort of a joy after when I saw them. And as I entered, all of the people who were sitting, although I was young, so young to all of them, they must have done it to everyone, but all of them stood up. So we hugged each other, and if there were any emotions, they were, kept very quiet.
And then I escorted him to the coffin area. So he inspected the coffin and saw it, and then he looked into the security duties, whatever we were doing it, and he was satisfied.
Then Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad called a meeting and started planning.
Those images that we have captured, I have filmed some, Sayyid Akil Shah Sahib has filmed some. So those were going to be reviewed and aired on MTA to let the public also, who can't attend, see Huzoor's blessed face. But none of us, me or Akil Sahib, were happy with the filming that we did because of the way that the body was inside the coffin, because of the way the light was, and it was reflecting some shadows on the face also. It didn't look really nice, and I didn't want Huzoor to be the last images transmitted to be remembered in that way. And it wasn't really what he looked like. His face, you couldn't really believe that this is a face of someone who's passed away. The alternative was really to take the body out of the coffin and film it that way. But I wasn't even sure it's an okay thing to do and to suggest, and I said to myself, let the more senior members make that decision and choice. So me and Akil Sahib were standing in the MTA's office under the monitor while this video was playing, and in that meeting, the chairman of MTA was sitting there with senior members from Rabwa as well as London, and amongst them was Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad Sahib, and he was sitting against the wall towards the TVs. Me and Akil Sahib were sitting quietly, and the discussion was whether this is good enough or it's not good enough. I chose to remain quiet, and everybody was almost saying, you know, this is good enough, this is the best you can get, to the point that it was almost final. And all I remember is Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad Sahib, just out of the blue, he looks towards me and Akil Sahib and asks me, "Ode Sahib, what do you think?" I couldn't, even with that opportunity, I couldn't even say anything. I was emotional, and I couldn't even express myself properly. And then he said to me, "So you think it's better to take the body out and film it?" And that kind of really took me by surprise, as if he's read my mind. And then I just nodded. I said, "Yes, I think it's better if we do that." And then the decision was made to come after Asr, to bring the body, put it on in Mahmud Hall, and then we filmed the body again. And those pictures really were of a totally different level altogether.
The police have cordoned off the surrounding roads, allowing tens of thousands of grieving Ahmadi Muslims to stand at the gates of the London Mosque.
Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmad Sahib was making his way from the 41 guest house to the main mosque area, perhaps to the Mahmud Hall. And as he entered Gresham Hall Road, there was a huge crowd of people across the road, and his pathway was blocked. People would just part for him. And so he was able to get to where he needed to without any sort of hindrance. But the real thing I recall is the atmosphere at the time, the way people were looking at him. You could hear whispers, you could hear people talking. It's something I'll never forget, because there was a real electricity in the air at that moment.
He was standing outside Masjid Fazl, and he was completely surrounded by people. Everyone wanted to come and pay his respects to him and express their condolences to him. And there were so many people, and he met with all of them, but the situation became quite dangerous because they were, anybody could have taken advantage there. So eventually I held his hand and literally, took him out of the crowd and took him upstairs, because the thing was that we could have been a dangerous situation. But he himself was there for everyone. He was prepared to share everyone's sorrow.
Despite Amir Sahib's security concerns, the highest-ranking office bearer of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community continues to stand among the crowd.
So because of so many people, the mosque was overflowing, and there were prayer mats had been laid out in all nooks and corners, and this prayer mat was just in a corner right next to flower beds, and it was not a very best of the places to have your it was very tight and everything. But I sat there with my cousin Sayyid Tahir Ahmad, and we were sitting there, and I got a glimpse of Nazir Allah coming for prayers. And he saw us, and there was just a little space with us, and he came and sat with us. Of course, he was being escorted by security at the time because he was Nazir Allah. So the fellow who was Mr. Nasser, who was on security with him, he asked him that, please don't, please come inside, or, place us inside. But I think he kept sitting over there. He said, that's fine. But I remember distinctly and vividly saying to myself that how humble this person is, and how extreme is his humility.
As the day passes, grief-stricken MDs are still unable to find contentment.
That time was just fraught with tension.
I'm thinking this is maybe something wrong. Why I'm young and I'm a very kamzor, weak person. Maybe some mistake to put my name in this committee. It's a very holy committee, and I'm come to my mind that now the ambulance coming and they took me to the hospital. I feel something, I'm going to die. Really, this is not a joke.
I still remember remarking or mentioning to my friend that everything feels so incomplete without the Khalifa. I remember saying that, I really can't wait until tomorrow, until the election of Khilafat, and until we have some sort of leadership again.
The day of the election has finally arrived, and worshippers at the London Mosque are now almost overwhelmed with anxiety.
I was in extreme state of fear for myself, for my belief, for my faith.
I put in my mind before I leave Kababir someone to nominate his name Khalifa. Like, I was not full with itmi'nan about his...
But there can be no delays. As the darkness of the night approaches, members of the Electoral College form a queue at the mosque's entrance.
At the end of the line. I stopped there, and recently two persons came from the left side. One, I know him, he was Hamidullah, Chaudhry Hamidullah, the Wakil A'la, Sahib. And another person, this person, when he came, I saw Roshni, like spark, Noor, coming from his face to my heart. And I start asking myself, who is this person? I know the Jamaat people, who is this? I don't know this person.
I walked in with Mirza Masroor Ahmad into the mosque, and we sat right at the back, both of us, were right at the last people to go in. We sat at the back. And in fact, he gave me his mobile phone. He said, you're not supposed to take this in, but you hold on to it in case we have to make any contact.
I was sitting in the library of Hazrat Khalifa Masih Rabi's residence. A lot of our family members were there. And throughout this period, absolutely everyone was just silent. There was absolute quiet, and everyone was just praying.
The secretary, Imam Saab, and the Sadr Ijlas, Chaudhry Hamidullah Sahib, and they start to read the rules, and in the end they ask who we want to nominate names. Okay, there's some people stop up and they start mention names. When they mention names, my heart's closed and refuse. I told myself, why this bad feeling. They are holy man. Why is his feeling? Now it's not your aql because you didn't know the CV. Who is this person? Something like another systems work now. Refuse. Someone mentioned same person. I thought about him to nominate him Khalifa. And I asked myself, okay, raise your hand. This is the, I feel like Falij. I can move my hand and his name fall down. Amir Saab, Germany, asked the Sadr Ijlas to ask him to stood up to see the face of those people, because we came from different countries, east, west, north, south. Okay, when they mentioned Masroor Ahmad, I'm looking, where is Masroor Ahmad? He was in my group in the end where we removed the shoes near the door, and he's crying. And when I saw him, he's the same person I saw him before. He came from his face, Noor. I say, this is the Khalifa.
तो हज़रत साहब का जब नाम पेश हुआ और उन्होंने वोट के लिए पुकारा कि जी अब जो इनके हक़ में हैं, तो ख़ुद ब खुद हाथ खड़े हो गए थे. और मैं अक्सर के बारे में जानता हूँ कि उनके ख़ुद ब खुद हाथ खड़े हो गए थे. हमने नहीं खड़े किए. ना उससे पहले हमारा कोई इरादा था, ना कोई ऐसी सोच थी. कोई 3 दिन में मेरे जहन में एक भी सोच नहीं आई.
अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू. तमाम अहबाब जमात हाय अहमदिया की इत्तला के लिए ऐलान किया जाता है कि आज मोरखा 22 अप्रैल सन 2003 मजलिस इंतखाब खिलाफत का इजलास बसदारत मोहतरम चौधरी हमीदुल्लाह साहिब मुनक़िद हुआ, और उसके बाद मुकर्रम व मोहतरम साहिबजादा मिर्ज़ा मसरूर अहमद साहिब सल्लमहु रब्बहु को खलीफतुल मसीह मुंतखब किया.
When the name of the Khalifa was announced, it was an almost instantaneous, do you want to call it magic moment, spell?
You feel the amn, you feel the happiness, you feel the sa'ada of the farah, of tama'nina or sukoon, direct in like switch.
It was an amazing feeling. That fear that I had for the last few days, it was lifted. It was your hearts were filled with happiness and joy. Although you've never met that individual, you've never interacted with him. You don't know what he's like. You don't know how to. But it's that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made his choice through this council. It instilled that peace again that you had lost in the last few days.
وعد الله الذين آمنوا منكم وعملوا الصالحات ليستخلفنهم في الأرض كما استخلف الذين من قبلهم وليمكنن لهم دينهم الذي ارتضى لهم وليبدلنهم من بعد خوفهم أمنا.
अहबाब जमात से सिर्फ एक दरख्वास्त है कि आजकल दुआओं पे ज़ोर दें, दुआओं पे ज़ोर दें, दुआओं पे ज़ोर दें. बहुत दुआएं करें, बहुत दुआएं करें, बहुत दुआएं करें. अल्लाह ताला अपनी ताईद व नुसरत फरमाए और अहमदियत का ये काफ़िला अपनी तरक्कियात की तरफ रवां दवा रहे.
When we were inside and everyone was standing up inside the mosque, Fazl Mosque, this is the Electoral College, and Huzoor asked everyone to sit down because he was going to say something. And I think Imam Sahib announced that Huzoor has said, you should sit down. And people outside heard it as well. And those thousands of people who were standing on the road everywhere, they immediately sat down. Every person, no matter where they were, they immediately sat down.
Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah wa वहदहु ला शरीक लहु व अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदन अब्दुहु व रसूलुहु। आज मैं मसरूर के हाथ पर बैत करके जमात अहमदिया मुस्लिमा में दाखिल होता हूँ।
अब्बा की वफ़ात से कोई 10-11 साल पहले मैंने ख्वाब देखी थी कि मैं एक कमरे में खड़ी हूँ और खाली कमरे, सामने 2 दरवाजे हैं और मैं रो रही हूँ, बहुत ज़्यादा रो रही हूँ, अकेली खड़ी और मैं कह रही हूँ कि मेरे अब्बा सिर्फ 10 चल रहे हैं। तो मैं देखती हूँ कि एक दरवाज़ा खुला है और ये हुजूर आए हैं अंदर और मेरे पास आके खड़े होके मुँह से कुछ नहीं कह रहे, लेकिन जैसे तसल्ली के लिए हल्का सा ठपकी पीछे से देते हैं कि चुप कर जा। लेकिन मैं रोई जा रही हूँ तो दूसरा दरवाज़ा खुलता है और उसमें से अब्बा झांकते हैं और अब्बा कहते हैं मुझे देख के कि रो ना, अब मियाँ मसरूर तुम्हारा ख्याल रखेंगे। उस ख्वाब से तो बिल्कुल यकीन था कि यही हैं शायद अगले हुजूर। लेकिन अब्बा को नहीं मैंने बताई थी उस वक़्त, क्योंकि अम्मी के वफ़ात के भी कुछ चंद महीने गुजरे थे। और लेकिन जब अब्बा बीमार हुए थे मुझे एक दिन लग रहा था कि बहुत बेचैन जैसे हैं अब्बा, तो तब मैंने अब्बा को ये ख्वाब सुना दी थी और अब्बा के चेहरे पे बड़ी मुस्कुराहट और बहुत खुशी आई थी चेहरे पे। जो मुझे कुछ कहा नहीं, लेकिन एक अजीब सी मुस्कुराहट और खुशी थी चेहरे पे और सिर हिलाना शुरू कर दिया था कि हाँ, जैसे हाँ मैं मतलब मुझे पता है।
I stayed in London several days after the Intikhab-e-Khilafat, and then on Sunday morning I had to go back to university because I had exams coming up. And I remember asking the private secretary whether I could meet Huzoor before I left. And I'd only just made this request that Munir Javed Saab, he went into the office and he came out saying I could go in. And Huzoor was sitting there at his desk and he told me to sit down. I remember the very first thing he said to me was that things aren't going to be any different with me. If there's ever anything you need, if there's ever anything you need to speak to us to speak about, you can turn to me in the same way that you were able to turn to your grandfather.
Sayyidi Mushfiqi Murshidi Meherba Humne Behre Khuda Teri Bayat Jo ki Tu Hamara Hua Hum Tere Ho Gaye Tu Hum.
There were some few names suggested and I don't know how I was elected, and I was elected anyway.
रूहानियत की अजब रो चली, शब गजीदों को फिर रोशनी मिल गई, किरमजी शब हुई दिन हरे हो गए.
As the head of the worldwide Muslim community, it is my duty that I should draw the attention of the world towards establishing peace. I consider this my obligation because Islam's very meaning is peace and security.
तू हमारा हुआ हम तेरे हो गए, तू हमारा हुआ हम तेरे हो गए. जिंदगी तेरे दम से बदलने लगी, इश्क ताज़ा हुआ जान संभलने लगी.
Today, the institution of Khilafat is striving for peace in every possible way and to spread love and affection throughout the world.
मेहरबान हमने बहरे खुदा तेरी बैत जो की, तू हमारा हुआ हम तेरे हो गए, तू हमारा हुआ हम तेरे हो गए, तू हमारा हुआ हम तेरे हो गए, तू हमारा हुआ हम तेरे हो गए।